Okay, before I say what I am going to say, I want you guys to understand I think Dispatch is a good game. But when I finished my first playthrough and went back to maybe take a look at trying a second run, I realized I really did not want to play this game again. Which, if you're not familiar with the genre, it makes sense. It's practically a show. You're only gonna really want to watch it once. But I've been enjoying games like this for a really long time. Games from Telltale, Quantic Dreams, Supermassive. And all of these games I wanted to play a second time. So why am I being so resistant to Dispatch? Was it the story? The dispatching? The hacking? The character design?
Malevola. Terrifying.
I cannot fall in love with her. I cannot fall in love with her. I cannot fall in love with her. I cannot... probably not the character design. So I gave myself some time to kind of turn it over in my head a couple of times, and I think I figured out what is bothering me so much about this game. And that's that there are just such a wide array of issues that all kind of build up to one main problem. And my biggest concern for Season 2, but also kind of the game's biggest strength, it's a little weird, but the first thing that we can go over without spoiling too much is the humor in this game.
Hey, what's your favorite donut?
Long cream ones.
Those long ones with the cream inside.
Oh, you like a dick donut?
No.
Yeah, I know. Shut
They're
up.
called...
You love big, long, cream-filled dick donuts. I got it, dude. You like your dick donuts up in your throat.
After your little premature Jack explosion, I had this feeling like I'd
Oh my god, I kind of hate her. I kind of want her to shut up.
You ever jerk off in this thing?
What is wrong with you? Why are you so horny?
Yeah, right?
It can be painful at times. And look, I like dirty jokes. I partake in them far too frequently. For a second.
He's all the way up there.
All the way up here. I'm not even that far. You're directly below me. I think if you come inside, then I'll get pregnant. But also, you won't have to deal with the blizzard and you can get up. But something about this many of them in an environment that isn't like impromptu just really didn't work for me. And that appears to be a common complaint. And it's not like they don't have really good jokes in the game. I laughed out loud plenty of times.
They temporarily blinded me! What you mean temporarily? They keep blind forever!
But those moments do feel very few and far between compared to the rest of the humor. And it looks so much like Fall outside. Can we, like, with just everything? Everything is sex. And if you like this sort of thing, it won't be all that grating, but that's really up to your taste. And that's not really the case with the next issue that I have with the game. And that's player feedback. And I'm not talking about the Steam reviews. I'm talking about how a game tells a player if they are succeeding or failing. The best example of what I'm talking about is a hit marker. If you fire and you hit something, now you get that satisfying little click. That's a thumbs up. Game's telling you did it. You did a good job. In Dispatch, that player feedback is fed to you using the weird star pie chart, and with this little puck thing landing in your designated area. It's a really fun system, and a lot of people have been saying that this system should be implemented in a standalone game. My only issue with it is that sometimes there are scripted outcomes. Okay, yeah, so she refuses at the end of the day, and that was not like a physics thing. That was some horse shit. And the scripted outcomes can be really fun.
Oh, what the fuck is this?
I've gotcha.
Wait a second. Blake.
It's like a unique kind of intertwining of the story and the gameplay mechanics. The thing is, that has a really negative impact on the player feedback. Like, imagine if those hit markers sometimes didn't happen when I hit something, or did happen when I didn't hit anything. It severely diminished my capability to understand whether or not I was doing something right or wrong. And that really killed the satisfaction of the gameplay loop for me. Not just for a second playthrough, but even just halfway through the first playthrough. You see? You son of a bitch! Oh my god. Is that supposed to be real? Is that a fake one? I don't know what to think right now. Now, that's a complaint that I didn't really hear anywhere else, so I am kind of curious if I am alone in this or if anyone else has experienced the same thing with this game. Okay, look, I know these are the interesting ones. We'll get there very soon, but they're also very spoiler heavy. So first, we're gonna go over hacking. It's not fun, it doesn't add anything, shouldn't be in the game. Alright, we're here. So if you haven't played the game yet, I will be ruining it now. Okay, let's deal with the consequences. Or actually the lack thereof. Because this game does not punish you for any decisions you make. You can tell depressed Omni-Man you kissed his girlfriend.
I kissed her.
So you are to blame for my sadness.
You actually get 2 kisses.
I now believe that you had nothing to do with our breakup.
And he has no problem joining the team. Or with Flambe, admitting to him that you're the guy who took his fingers and his eyebrows. He gets angry for a second, doesn't show up for work the next day, and that's basically it. He just kinda shows up, gives you 1 punch, and calls it even. And the rest of the story plays out as if that never even happened. And I don't mean to say that him trying to kill you for that brief second, doesn't count as a consequence. It's just that even if you do it, your relationship with Flambe ends up in the same place, despite there being no effort made to repair things with him. And another example, even at the finale of the game, when you were deciding whether or not to kill Shroud, something they brought up earlier like, oh hey, this is gonna be important, be careful.
You would do that. Kill Shroud. Because you might get the chance. And you don't want to go in there having to think about it. You gotta know.
I'm not sure. Just gonna have to wait and see, I guess.
Just think about it. You want to be sure.
And when that moment came... No, instantly kill him. He put the dog in danger. And you want to know the consequences for it? Everyone supports you in your decision and feels no differently about you.
We cannot confirm or disconfirm this evidence, but I can say that bitch Shroud deserved what he got. You want to be sure.
Blonde Blazer gives you a suspension that she says is
Just a formality.
Totally understand.
And the cherry on top, Blonde Blazer asks you,
Do you feel better,
and this is what my Robert said.
Allie?
A little, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of like masturbating.
No.
Okay, I really can't wait to see where you take this.
It felt good when it was happening, but the second it was over, I was instantly filled with shame.
Oh my god, please, please. And the most consequential decision even feels really underwhelming. And I'm talking about that choice between Sonar and Coop. Outside of changing the PNG that you get at the end of the game, there are just a couple of scenes that play out differently. But it's not like anything changes, they're literally just replaceable with one another, which makes it feel more like I'm going through Resident Evil 4 the second time, but this time I'm using the wacky skins. Which leads me into my next issues with the choices, being that they're not really compelling ones. The choices that have the most impact, like choosing between Coop and Sonar, Phenomena and Waterboy, or Blonde Blazer and Sonar. I didn't mean Sonar, fucking I wish. Between Blonde Blazer and Invisigal, they really just kind of come down to, who do you want to hang out with more? By the way, I didn't pick either Vizzy or Blazer. I am the 4%. Incels rise up.
Virginie is cool! Come on, Virginie is cool!
And there are some compelling choices like whether or not to come out to the team as Mecha Man, or deciding whether or not to trust Invisigal towards the end of the game. And they almost have a third one. There is a really short scene when Robert is alone with Beef and just kind of thinking out loud to him. And he asks himself if he is better off trying to be Mecha Man or continuing to lead the Z-Team. And it's also, unfortunately, a great segue into my issues with the plot. Because that question goes nowhere. And it feels like a lot of the plot points end up in the same place. Like Robert's relationship with his dad. The whole thing starts off with that conversation. It feels like it should be pretty central, and it's brought up many times. I mean, it's Robert and Shroud's main connection. Robert loves his dad, Shroud killed him. But Robert also doesn't know a whole lot about his dad. That's some fun intrigue. It leaves the door open for Shroud maybe having had a good reason to have done it. Maybe Robert's dad did something terrible that caused Shroud to react the way that he did. And now Robert has to deal with the consequences of his predecessor. It would also give a lot of context to Shroud's philosophy.
You think you can beat the bad by being good?
But there's no solving human nature. You can't stop evil. All you can do is control it.
So what did Robert's dad do?
Your dad said he'd help me build a mech if I helped him build the Astral Pulse. Just another promise he didn't come through on.
That's what this is all about?
I mean, it's a bit of an asshole move, but it's hardly evil.
He didn't live up to his pinky promise, so I killed him.
Which made the whole Robert's dad build-up feel like it didn't really amount to anything. And something else that didn't really amount to anything, Shroud's prediction power? Especially during the final fight, when everyone keeps commenting.
Robert, this isn't working. He knows our next move before we do.
They even showcasing him being able to predict what Robert says.
Well, does your little app predict me beating your ass?
So, how do our protagonists get around this issue? And at least for my run, they just kinda didn't. You see, I gave him the right Kyber Crystal, or whatever the fuck it was, because he had beef. And the whole thing is that he can predict us, because they reinforced that fact 40 times. So now he has the right one, he plugs it into his skull, and has the power to predict harder, and then fails to predict that Vizzy is standing in front of the bullet, or that Robert would start with the right hook. Which, just a side note, would have been a really cool callback to that first fight in front of the TV store.
You're hurt. You're not thinking straight. You don't want to fight someone who knows which hand every punch is coming from.
But no, he just kind of stops predicting, and that's just written off, and then, we're back to the lesson of don't fuck with the dog. So my ending was pretty aggravating in dealing with that big of a fucking plot hole. And I still feel like they could have done that side well. Like, maybe Shroud's predictions were influenced by his pessimism towards believing that, somebody who's bad can be turned good, and then Invisigal was that X factor that kind of changed it. But instead, I just kind of got nothing. But choosing to give him both the real and fake one, definitely the better ending.
One of those is it.
They look fucking identical, Robert.
Look, you're right.
Because who doesn't like the idea of a villain being defeated by the powers of gambling? But let's stop here, because I could continue to nitpick this thing to death, but the point that I'm trying to make is that each aspect of this game feels heavily flawed. Like, if this was released as a Choices Matter game, it would have been very disappointing. If it was released as a show, probably would have had some niche appeal, but definitely not the same level of success. And that'd probably be a similar situation for the dispatching side of the game. But despite all that, as a combination, the game works. And I think the thing that's holding it all together is one-on-one with its biggest weakness. And that's the novelty of it. No other game has done exactly what Dispatch is doing. Adhoc Studio has melded a Choices Matter game with like a new chance strategy game. The way the choices that you make within the story affect what happens in the dispatching, and what you do during the dispatching affects the story. It's really goddamn cool. So the novelty of the game is really lifting it up. So much so that I think it kind of falls apart without it, which is probably the reason why I was dreading the idea of a second playthrough so much. Novelty has power, but it isn't staying power. And that's why it's a big concern for me for if or when Season 2 happens. I'm not confident that this exact same formula will work twice, at least with all the issues that I mentioned before. So I am wishing Adhoc the best of luck in creating whatever they're gonna make next, because I am excited to see it, and I hope it does well. Because despite all my complaining, this game was inspiring. And while this video might not be inspiring, I hope it at least made you giggle, or maybe, lightened the day a bit. If it did, liking and subscribing really helps it reach more people. And if you're feeling generous, I do have a Ko-fi page, and times are tough, so any help goes a long way. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.